back. This is Jackie Elam Live Entertainment Unlimited. You are tuning in with me and my guest, Julian Broadus, Snoop Dogg's third son. We were just talking about how he is honing in on his craft by studying and writing and learning more about producing. I guess I had a question. So, you're studying, you're writing. At some point, like you said, you were able to produce some of your music on your own. You put it out and then you took it down. Um, you created your own studio in your home, or are you also going to different studios?
Well, for me, I had my studio in my closet. Like I was ambitious. I'm still ambitious to this day, even more. But I was like, man, I got to get this music out. I got to really see what it would sound like. And so I would go to a friend's house, and I recorded there for the first time, and it was weird to hear myself on a microphone. And I wanted it, like, because I was a basketball player at first, as you
Okay.
know, and I broke my hand. And before that, I asked God if like He wants me to play basketball still, or He wants me to pursue music. And when I broke my hand, like right after, like a couple like weeks or two after that, and I was like, okay, like I know this music stuff is for me. So I gave it a shot, and I fell in love with it the first time. Like, first song wasn't really good. I'm not gonna lie. And
Who did you let hear? How did you know you weren't good? Like you
uh,
have like goodness in your bloodline.
well, it wasn't that I wasn't good. I just didn't have a flow.
Okay.
So everything was rushed, like with the sound. Like, I wouldn't give the music any breaks. Like, it was just a straight continuous line of raps, and I thought it was hard, but it wasn't. Like, listening to it now, I was like, no, thank God I took it down. But yeah, it was the first song I ever made, and for me, I felt joyous because it was like something I made. Like, it had my name on it, had my touch on it, my spin, and it was crazy. Like, I loved it. Like, and I could be myself. When I was a basketball player, I could only do so much, and like I couldn't be unique really because everybody plays basketball. They wear the same stuff. It's like,
Everybody's not your height though.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, you make it easier. You could just stand there and just dunk, right? You don't have to jump.
yeah. So,
Maybe at 6'6", 6'5".
but I was playing guard, so it was like I was doing all the stuff that like all the small fast people do, and it was like, yeah, not good. I didn't like having to guard all the point guards and shooting guards. I was like, let me take a break off that. And yeah, this music stuff is what I love. So I'm really glad that God opened those doors for me and showed me
That this is where you should go. And I love that
exactly.
you don't feel the pressure to rush.
Oh yeah.
You don't feel the pressure to just quickly get something out there, even though you did and took it back. You just don't feel that pressure. Now, we were talking about pressure. What pressure do you feel being the son of Snoop Dogg?
Oh. Uh. Well, the the pressure I feel of being Snoop Dogg's son is it's a tremendous pressure. Don't get me wrong. Like, I just appear relaxed and
Yeah, you
I
do.
can keep myself calm, but trust me, every day it's like I don't want to make it like a bad decision because it doesn't just affect me. It affects my father's image as well. Everybody who's in my family, like my mother, my father, everything like that. So when I make a decision, I'm thinking about more than just myself every time. And I don't really have pressure in this mixed stuff because music is, even if I don't end up being successful in it, it's like I still love it, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep doing it, whether there's money involved in it and whether there's not. But I would love to be able to make music like a career for me, and that's why I want to take my time with it and not rush anything and be a one-hit wonder. Let's say like I make like a really good song now, and then I can't capitalize on that, and then my music just tanks out.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
Well, we have a caller on the line, and they're calling. Hello, how are you, caller? Who am I talking
I'm
to, and where are you
good.
calling from?
This is Janae from Houston, Texas.
Welcome, welcome, all my family and friends and listeners out there and watchers, because you can also see us on this interview. Welcome, Houstonians, and welcome, Janae. Do you have a question for Julian?
Yes, I do, Julian. I wanted to know. So you seem like a real nice, laid back type of guy. You don't seem like real gangster like your dad. So you seem like so is your music. Is your music gonna go like in a different direction? Are you gonna do like pop, or is your
Oh
rap
yeah.
gonna be gangsta, or is it just
No,
like what type of music are you doing?
I think I'm gonna end up in that pop lane sooner than not because like I like it. Like I'm not gonna front. I like listening to pop. I like listening to EDM. I like listening to a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not just a like listening to rap music all the time. I'm way beyond like the barriers of music. Like I listen to some rock sometimes. Like for me,
Right.
it's whatever vibe I'm feeling that day. I'm gonna listen to it. Like I don't really care like what people think about what I listen to. Like I was raised off of jazz and classical music all my life. Like it's nothing like for me to like to listen to music
That's
that's different.
That's awesome. Me too. I listen to tons of different things. When you genuinely love music, you can't just limit yourself to just one thing, or because that's what your dad does or what people may expect of you. And that's good. I'm glad that you're following your heart and being your own entity and your own individual.
Exactly.
I just watching you, I could just detect that from your energy. Like your soul just gave off a little different vibe to me, and I connected with you. I was like, he's cool. He got a different vibe, and he seemed like he's like on a different level. And I keep hearing you, mention God and praying and stuff like that. So I think you're gonna go far, sweetheart. Just keep it up and always follow your dreams and don't do what everybody expects you to do, and you're gonna do great. You
Thank
just
you. I
follow
really
your heart.
Thank you
appreciate
so
that.
much,
That's what you do.
Janae from Houston, Texas, calling in. Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. You look great, girlfriend. You look
Thank
so
you.
pretty with my fellow
Hey,
Houstonian.
my fellow Houstonian. But that's so
All
true
right.
because I'm sorry, you still on. Okay, bye girl. So that's so true. People do expect you to sound like your father, to talk about the things that your father talk about. But earlier you did say I didn't grow up in this gangster life. So how can I rap about that even though artists do rap about it and they don't have that real life experience. So you say you grew up listening to jazz. Like who put jazz in your ears at such a young age?
My mother and my father.
So how old would you say you were when they introduced you to other genre of music?
I was in the womb.
Oh, okay, well that makes
From
sense.
the womb, I've been listening to different stuff because my mom, like when she was pregnant, she would always listen to jazz and classical music and everything of like that sort, like serene music. And I wouldn't listen to like too much rap until like I was like a cool 2 years old, 3 years old, and my mom would always put in my dad's CD because he would just leave it in there.
Okay.
And then it was bad to the point where I was like cussing because I would know every lyric of the song because it would be replayed so much because my dad would always play it.
But is it okay? Because technically it's your daddy. You just saying what your daddy said. Like, is that okay for 2-3-year-olds to
No, nah, it's not.
to recite the music of a legendary father? No, I guess that's not a
it
good
was
look.
like it was like all the hardcore stuff, like that was what, like 2001,
Okay.
like the Chronic album was
Oh
out.
yeah, you should not be quoting and reciting the Chronic.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those.
No, yes, okay, I get it now. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess you got a pass, but I guess not. Mommy turned around like, no, baby.
yeah. She's like, no. But then she took the disc out, and then he'd come and he'd play it still, and they'd be like, what's going on? I'd be cussing and stuff. It was just all bad.
That's so funny. So you have a great vision for yourself as not being locked into one sound for this hip hop business. Who do you see yourself working with then? Because like you say you can't necessarily describe what your sound is. So if you could work with someone in the business to kind of like that may match well with your sound or what you see yourself doing, who would it be?
Um, let's see. For one, like I love listening to Chris Brown's music. I feel like he's probably the next best thing next to Michael Jackson coming up.
Yes, I agree.
So it's like if I had to like list somebody I'd have like would love to work with, it'd be Chris Brown. Whether it be just writing like some lyrics with him or because I'm not on Chris Brown's level of singing. That dude is beyond.
Wait, you said singing. So you sing too?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, you're singing and rapping.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that'll be a different twist. I mean,
Exactly.
wait, we do get some rappers that do try to sing on, and I guess that might
And
be
then
auto-tune.
auto-tune,
Yeah.
no,
So
not
you
that.
actually can hold a note, like stand in front of the church.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to develop.
Because that's where you know you can go to the next
Yeah.
level. Because most people come from the church
The
first,
choir,
the
yeah.
choir, and then onto the stage. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get to the point of you singing with the choir. You're just not standing. You're not doing your solo yet
Not solo.
in front of the choir. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay, awesome. So like as far as hip hop artists though, like do you relate well with like a Kendrick Lamar?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Kendrick Lamar is a really, that music is like beyond my like understanding. It's so like I don't even know how to explain it. It's so beautiful. I love it. Like Kendrick Lamar's old stuff, I feel like that makes him one of the best of all time because it's so dynamic with what he's saying, and his flow is on point. Everything about his music has always been good. I mean, I had mixed emotions about this last album he dropped because I was like, I was the first listen to it. I thought it was gonna be like Good Kid, Mad City, but it wasn't. It was something like a deeper meaning behind it and like lots to think about. So I was listening to it the first time. I was like, oh, I don't like this. This doesn't sound good. But I gave it a listen again in a more calm state of mind, and I really loved it.
So a J. Cole, is that more your style?
I mess with J. Cole's music so heavily.
Okay, so that is more your style. So you
Well,
like
not more my style. Like
not your style, but who you can see yourself
Travis
working
Scott.
with. Also, okay, Travis Scott. I think he's a Houstonian, right?
Yeah, he is.
He's out of Houston.
I love
H-Town,
Travis Scott's
H-Town.
music because it's like he's so wild, he's so raw with everything he does. It's like, who's gonna tell Travis Scott what he can do? I love to work with Kanye. I love to work with the people who aren't afraid to be themselves.
Okay. And we know Kanye is not, and
Not
there's many
afraid.
selves there. There's more than one selves when dealing with Kanye, and we
Yeah.
love all of him, and all of those people in there. So, as far as so you mentioned one R&B artist, which is Chris Brown. Any female artists? Because you don't even mention men.
Tinashe.
Okay, okay. And so she sings. So would you go like head to head as far as singing, or
Nope.
would you mix in the rap with a little singing, with a little dance?
She slayed me in singing, so I let her get that. I just probably rap on the beat or something like that. Something cool, something casual, something to me. But there's a lot of people in the industry that I love to work with, like Justin Bieber, Rihanna, stuff like that. But I just want to make my music up to par. So when I hop on a song with them, it's not like I'm trash compared to them.
So when you get your music out though, then will you call your daddy? Because that's where you need to pull your daddy card and like, look, daddy, like you heard my music, I did it on my own. It's hot now. Can you call Rihanna for me? Like, well, you don't want your dad to make a phone call? Can we get daddy involved somehow? Because at that point you would have already dropped your music, proven your point. I mean, I'm just saying, like for me, I feel like if I had one famous person in my family, I guess that's what they're used to as well.
I have like 5.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Ray
Well,
J,
that's true.
Brandy.
You are related to Ray J and Brandy.
Daz.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
true.
all of 'em. So
Oh, and
it's-
Daz is a producer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I might work
Okay.
with him sooner than not, though. That's somebody I'd love to work with. We had that conversation that day, and it was really like mind blowing. He really blew my mind with that one.
And then you can also learn. I know you
Oh
want
yeah.
to.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I know you want to like get yourself in your own zone and come to the table already having studied the craft, understanding the craft. As far as business side, are you studying how contracts are written out,
Of
or how
course.
the business side? Because of course you have your family that could help you, but are you doing that on your own as well?
Yeah, I don't sign anything unless I give it to my attorney.
Are you trying to sign something first, or are you trying to just do this on your own independently first? Like, do you want to drop your music on your own, produce, write, drop it first, and go that route, or after you have written your song, produced it, gotten it out, then will you call your daddy?
I want to sign for like just like my youth, like my youth in the game, and then like when I'm older and I'm making like more different music, I'll be independent and I'll start my own record label and stuff like that. But I just want to sign first, just to get a name out there first, and then when I have like my whole brand established as myself, then I'll go from there and I'll just build. But I don't want to try and do it all by myself without having to label it just yet. 'Cause
Okay.
independent, it's kind of hard. Like, I trust me, I see a whole bunch of people trying to be independent, and it's like it's tough for me to see them struggle when they're making really good music. So I would love to just sign and just have a record label deal with all the distribution and everything like that. But yeah, I'll probably break off and do independent stuff like how my father did. For
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, because I don't. I
Yeah,
mean, of
but
course
his situation was a lot worse than mine, because he was in the death row deal, and yeah,
and I didn't, I didn't study that before I came in, but I don't know like the whole background on all his record deals. But I thought today with music that I thought more people were going the independent route
oh yeah,
first.
everybody's going independent first. Like but they end up signing somewhere. And a lot of times they're not even that much independent because they rely on somebody else. Like it's like a lot of like in the South they build up on each other. Like it's not like somebody just like, oh, I'm just coming out the scene. Like Russ is one of the only people that's pretty much came out on the scene and really done it independently. And I applaud him for that and everything like that. He makes some pretty good music. But everybody builds on each other because somehow you know somebody. It's a small
Exactly.
city. It's like, hey, man, I need you to listen to this. Let me slide you it. It sounds good. It bangs in the club. Let's get you on the roster.
You're just coming out of high school. Do you feel like with I don't know if it's the popularity of music or it just seems to be so much money to be made in the business or I don't know, but coming out of school, did you find more kids are interested in music, like trying to rap or sing, than trying to be a lawyer or a doctor?
Yeah, it's a quick come up, everybody thinks, but it's not that quick and easy once you start doing it and get behind the mic, and then you realize you don't sound like what you think you do.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I feel like so many kids nowadays, not kids because you're not a kid anymore, but young adults
Kid at
are
heart.
trying to really pursue the entertainment industry because they think it's the fast money,
I mean,
and
don't get me wrong. If you make some good music, it could be quick money, but it's not quick money for everybody.
but what is that process? Like for me, I don't know anything music wise, so I want to kind of dive into what is the process of like getting in once your music is out. Let's say if you have it on iTunes, because I know you can do that on your own now. You have it on SoundCloud or Mixcloud and all these other different avenues. Then once it is a hit, like what's the next step after that? Like, do I have another guest poem? He's coming in. He's had music on iTunes and SoundCloud and those different avenues where you will put your music. And I guess that's the question I have for him. First question is, what's next? Once you have a song, what is the next step if you're starting out on the independent route when you do not have a label behind you? And what you hear now is Poem's song. We're going to ask him, once you get this song out, once it's hot, once you got your lyrics laid on the track right and you didn't use auto tune and then it sounds good and it's banging, how do you get onto shows? How do you get your name out there? So when we come back, you will listen and hear from Poem and Julian as well. Julian is staying with us. This is Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited, and we shall be right back. Don't forget to call in though, 323-473-3100 if you have any questions. Stay tuned.